So the thing is, as Christians, God did not leave us without a guide. We have the person called the Holy Spirit. And we don't only get to interact with the Holy Spirit during prayer or during visions or during... The Holy Spirit has a way of communicating. And this is real. You understand? We are at different levels in our Christian walk. Someone still relies on having the pastor coming in every day to tell them, my son, my daughter, you need to go this way. Then there comes a man, a mature man in the house of God, who when they pray in the morning, they have definite words from God concerning what they're supposed to be doing.
Amen.
You see? So you need to understand the level of maturity you are in the things of God. I've friends who have gone to the pastor without a name in their heads because they had so much faith to say, Pastor, I'm prepared for marriage now. I think you are wiser to choose for me. This is another level. And then we have someone who has prayed and is convinced that this sister is the one that God has for me. And they have done that. But it's not like they've made the wrong decisions. This is just different levels, different maturity levels in the house of God. So you need to understand yourself whether, am I grown enough to make such decisions? Otherwise, that's why we have leaders in the house of God. We have soul leaders. We can consult those concerning such matters. And you will be amazed at how God speaks to you through the next, your leader. You actually be very amazed. That's where our help comes from. God does not leave us without solutions, without guide and like that. Thank you so much.
A period of time that comes before marriage, that's called singleness, which is the most important.
Singleness. Okay.
So let's say marriage is like a meal. In order to make a nice KFC, you need some ingredients. So your marriage is as good as is your singleness. Because if my feet stink whenever, even though, so that's not a problem. So if I get into a relationship with someone, doesn't mean being together my feet will stop stinking. Amen. We still. So along the way, I've noticed that in order to make a good marriage, you need to be a good single, whether lady or man. See, you must make sure, so you must make sure that you deal with some toxic behavior in you, because you'll be looking for someone who's going to complete that word. You must be, fulfilled. A person who's fulfilled in what you're doing.
This is already before you get married.
Yeah. Singer, whether lady or man, you must be a good singer. You must deal, you see, whenever you gather together in relationship with someone, some toxic behavior will show up. You get angry easily, so you must be, not rushing, but you must love yourself before getting into a relationship.
What marries? It's not our spirit that need to get married. It's our flesh need to get married.
Okay, that is a very, very powerful point.
So the moment I say I'm going to pray 40 days and nights, guys. To Lucifer chose to betray God. So God is not going also to take away that free will from us.
Okay, so you still have a freedom to choose.
Yeah, I still have a freedom to choose. Also, I'm still his son. Okay.
Like what he said, you've got the wisdom to be able to choose. But there are certain circumstances where it's a divine calling, where God has to literally choose the person for you. So there are different arenas where it has to be. So you can actually go and actually choose the person that you want. And it will actually be good. But for certain people, for them to say, I want to choose this person, in the mind of God, you cannot. Because of a certain divine calling that you're called to. There are different people. Like if you look at someone like, let's say like Moses. Moses was what you call, he was born for a cause, which means his life had to go according to God's plan for his life. He can't make another decision, which means even the person that you marry is God ordained. So it comes down to understanding what is God, what is your plan, what's the vision that God has called you to do. It'll determine the kind of person you need to have in your life. You know, I went to my pastor one time. There's something she said. Any other regular guy in church can pick any woman they want. But when you are actually called of God, you need a specific kind of person. So those kind of things do really differ. And sometimes if God said this is the person, it's up to you. It's, we talked about using your will to choose God's will. So sometimes it differs. So you have to, either God says this is the person. If you say no, it's fine, I want another person. God can still yield to your decision. But you will bear the consequences. So it's a decision that you have to make. I had Pastor Chris say something about, that's why you look at Moses and Aaron, right? Moses said to Aaron, I want you to go speak to Pharaoh. But he says, no, Lord, you know me, I can't talk. But God had to yield to the decision of Moses. And he says, so it's fine, Aaron is there. He can actually speak for you. You become God to him, he becomes Moses to you. What did God do? He yielded to Moses' instruction. So he's a loving God, because he's given you the right to choose. Yeah. But there's nothing more beautiful than to be in God's perfect will for your life. It makes a whole difference. And there's no hard work, even no more hard work in that arena. Praise God. Thank you.